In a crowded primary race to replace retiring Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, one candidate pulled ahead of the pack with a clear victory. He's a former Army physician credited with saving the life of U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth on the battlefield. But his former ties to a convicted terrorist have raised a lot of questions in recent weeks. He joins us now to talk about his big win and those growing concerns. Dr. Hamawy, thank you for being with us today. Congratulations on your big win. It was a crowded field of 12 candidates, 13 on the ballot. What do you believe made you stand out as the winner?
Well, I ran on healthcare not bombs, unrigging the economy, and abolishing ICE. And in the beginning, a lot of people were telling me that these issues wouldn't resonate. But by the time we were done, every one of my opponents was saying the same thing. So I think Democrats are looking for candidates who will be bold fighters and will call out this rigged system, and that's what I did.
When you say rigged system, explain what you mean.
Well, I mean, the system is set up so that, the corporations benefit, the billionaires are benefiting, and people are working 40 hours a week, doing everything right, and yet every year they're falling behind. And, this is what's the problem is that people are struggling and it's getting more difficult and no one is fighting for them.
What are the changes specifically that you would like to see made when it comes to healthcare? We'll talk specifically Medicaid, Medicare.
Mhm. Well, I support having passing Medicare for all. I mean, I am someone who's been working in the system for years, and every year it gets more difficult. I'm fighting with insurance companies so that my patients could get the care they need. I'm fighting with them so that they could get prescriptions. And what we're seeing is patients are going into debt just to be able to afford their health care, and they're choosing between their rent and their medical bills. And what we need is a universal healthcare system where people don't have to make these to worry about this, and businesses don't have to be worried about the extra expense of providing insurance for their employees. I mean, this is something that is a human right, and we are far behind other developed countries who are providing this for their people.
You will now go on to face Republican Gregg Mele. This is not his first run, but I believe his first time with significant backing as the candidate. Two independents also are in the race. How will you differentiate yourself in this race as we head into the midterms?
I'm going to continue fighting for the issues I've been fighting all along. These are issues that resonate just not with Democrats, but with all Americans. We are tired of seeing trillions of dollars being spent on, forever wars. Our country is not any safer for them. We need to take some of this money that we're spending overseas on funding atrocities and wars that are illegal and immoral, and spend that in our communities where we need it for healthcare, for education, to rebuild our roads and bridges. This is what Americans want. This is what people in New Jersey want.
We have to point out your win comes amid growing concerns over ties that you have to someone named Omar Abdel-Rahman, and he is a man who is known as the Blind Sheikh. He was convicted of orchestrating the bombing plot against the UN, contributing to a terrorist plot against the World Trade Center in the 90s. You testified as a character witness for him at his trial. How do you explain that?
So let me clarify. I did not testify as a character witness. I was a witness for the defense, and that was on events that happened. These smears by MAGA are getting more absurd by the day, and they're just kind of, they're getting, they're just growing based on facts that really don't exist. When Trump's allies are beginning to tear you down, you know that you're doing something right. And when you get labeled as the anti-APAC candidate and you call out fascism, then this is what happens. What MAGA leaves out curiously is that I spent almost 20 years in uniform, and serving this country. I was a combat surgeon in Iraq. I saved hundreds of American lives. I treated the victims of terrorism on 9/11 on Ground Zero, and I'll never forget that day. So more than 30 years ago, I, like many others in New Jersey, met this man, and he was one of the few religious figures in the area. Of course, I condemned his rhetoric and actions, but I was in the military when this happened, during the trial and afterwards, and I was trusted with sensitive roles afterwards as well. My patriotism and record of saving lives is clear, and I'm not getting distracted by these smears, because this is the kind of anti-Muslim attacks from the right that don't work anymore. I'm building a movement to deliver
To
healthcare, not bombs, to unrig the economy, and to win New Jersey, a system where everyone could thrive.
And to be fair, the concerns are not just coming from the right. Yes, New York Congressman Mike Lawler has said that he would, if he were to be elected, he would open a full investigation into your relationship. And I just want to point out, yes, he was your opponent, but Plainfield Mayor Adrian Mapp has called this out. And Congressman Josh Gottheimer in the 5th Congressional District has said that he sees some of this as concerning as well. So there is concern growing among Democrats as well. And I just want to point out that the former U.S. Attorney at the time, Andrew McCarthy, said that you did not have to come, you were not subpoenaed to testify, that you chose to testify for the defense. Do you deny that?
I swore an oath as an officer of the United States Army to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States. And I believe in its system of justice and laws that exist. So I went and I testified under oath about events that happened, and I stand by that. And if we don't believe in this system, then we're going to continue in this path of fascism and authoritarianism, and we're going to lose our democracy. Our system was set up so that everyone could have a fair trial. I went and testified 15-20 minutes in a trial that lasted weeks. And if my opponents are going to make normal actions a crime, then this is already concerning, especially when I see Democrats beginning to take MAGA and far right speaking points.
This all comes at a time when there's just growing controversy and disagreement here at home over U.S. involvement in conflict overseas, in Iran, in Gaza. What is your position on the U.S.'s involvement in the war in Iran and its support of Israel?
Well, I see the war in Iran as both illegal and immoral. On the first day of the war, we bombed a school that was filled with young girls. And what we've seen decade after decade is that we get involved in these wars that we are creating, and we are not making this country any safer. We are not making more friends. We're creating more hatred. We are losing our allies, and the only people we are serving is the military-industrial complex, the defense industry, who are making billions off of these wars, and we are stealing from our communities that really need these funds. We should be spending this to be able to rebuild, to build our schools, to be able to build our roads and bridges, to fix our healthcare system. So I'm against these forever wars. I'm against funding atrocities and genocide overseas, and I think most Americans have clearly said that they are against this as well.
Do you see any path for bipartisanship in Congress, if you were to make it there, for how the U.S. approaches these types of wars? Do you think that there's any shared opinions there between Republicans and Democrats?
Absolutely. I mean, Americans, from both parties are looking for us to be able to invest in our communities, to be able to invest in housing, to invest on our own infrastructure, and they're tired of supporting wars and like supporting the APAC candidates who are trying to take these funds and put them overseas.
All right, Dr. Adam Hamawy, Democratic candidate in Congressional District 12. Congratulations on your win. You now go ahead to the midterms, where, like I said, you'll face off against 3 opponents. We will keep following the race, but thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us today.
Thank you very much.